Hello and welcome to part 1 of this tutorial on how to create a snake game using React. In this part, we'll create the basic setup and get started on some directional logic for the snake. So let's get started. In the Visual Studio Code terminal, I'll create a new React project with npx create React app. Expand the source folder. Delete report web vitals, setup test logo.svg, and app.test.js. In the app.css file, delete the existing code, and I'll paste in the styles for this portion, which you can find at the link in the description. In the app.js file, delete everything in the first div. I'll change the main function to an arrow function since I like that syntax. Remove the logo import. In the main div, I'll add the main component that we're about to create. In the source folder, create a components folder and create a main.js file. Create the basic React component setup. Then back in our app.js file, we can import the main component. In the main component, import useState, useEffect, and useCallback from React. Give the first div a class name of board. Wrap that div in a React fragment. Now let's create some state. Right before the return, create a slice of state with food and setFood using the useState hook. Do the same for the direction state, but set the default to a string containing right. Create state for the snake dots and set the default to an array. In here, we'll pass two more arrays. The first containing 0, 0, and the second containing coordinates 2, 0. Add state for speed. Setting the default to 200. We won't need the setSpeed function here. Create state for reset, setting the default to true. Then do the same for the pause state. Next, we'll create the useEffect. Create the basic setup. In the body, create an if check. If pause is true, return. Create a timeout function. Set it to move snake and pass in speed as the delay. Pass in snake dots and pause for the dependency array. Next, create the move snake hook. Set it to a use callback. Pass in an arrow function with snake dots and eaten as parameters. In the body, create a dots array with let. Set it to the current value of snake dots using the spread operator. Create another variable for the snake head and set it to a dots array entry, which will be dots.length -1. Create a switch based on the direction state. In the body, create a case for write. Setting the snake head to an array, where the first value will be the first value in the snake head array plus 2, and the second value will be the second value in the snake head array. Below that, break, then add another case for left. The first value for left will be the first value of the array -2, and the second value will be the second array entry. Break, then add another case for down. The first value for down will be the first value. The second value will be the second entry plus 2. Break, then add another case for up. The first value for up will be the first value. The second value for up will be the second array entry -2. Break, then create the default, and we'll just break. Now at the top, let's create the getRandomGrid function. In the body, create the min and max variables, setting them to 2 and 96, respectively. Create a variable for x, setting it to math.floor. Then in some parentheses, we'll use math.random to get a random value. Then multiply by some parentheses containing max minus min plus 1 plus min divided by 2. Then multiply the whole thing by 2. Create another variable for y, and that will be essentially the same thing as x. Then return an array containing x and y. In the moveSnake hook, below the switch, create an if check on direction. In the body, push the snake head array onto the snake dots. Create a check on eaten, where if it's true, we'll use state to set food, which first, let's set the default state of food to the getRandomGrid function. Now if eaten is true, we'll set food to getRandomGrid. If false, we'll call dots.shift. Below that, set snake dots to an array, where we'll use the spread operator on the dots array. Now we need to pass in a dependency array for the use callback hook, and for that, just add direction. That's it for this part. Thanks for watching.